stop, if you will, and just really think about all this Healy stuff. You've known all along. You've not wanted it to be true. And you've told yourself it wasn't true, even though in May of 2023, you were watching the Eras Tour and you saw Taylor mouth, "I love you," back to Matt Healy, who did it in her concert. And you know it was to him. And you know that she does not say "I love you" easily. You know that there's a huge 10-year-long up and down, off and on roller coaster relationship. That these songs that you tried to make be about joke, but like it was a puzzle piece that didn't fit, but you just smashed it in there anyway. Maybe if you had a little more sense of reality, you went to Carly. But even then, there were some things that just didn't quite fit. Come with me, if you will. Go ahead and follow my channel and follow 1989 Healy. Follow mine, I can go live here soon. But the robbers versus the one. If you never shoot, you're never gonna know. You're never gonna grow. Similar, for sure. Okay, fine. I would read these in version. So this is her response, in a sense, to the me and you together. I think the story needs more pages because I've been in love. I've been in love with her for ages. Let's add more. Their love story. And she, why am I still writing pages? Is almost her response. Yeah, I mean it's reversing the order. So, I've tried. I don't even like. She's building on the rhyme. I mean, I've tried. This is and like hidden in plain sight. She loves to do that. Like, there's nothing she loves more. I've tried to find another name 1,000 times, and the only one that rhymes is "Oh Caroline." She's like, "Yeah, my name is whatever you decide." Here's a even better. She bought me those jeans. Reverse the order. So dancing in your Levi's. Yeah, she bought me those Levi's. Ooh, this is good. You see, I wrote you a letter. Closure. Yes, I got your letter. This, I mean, there's no way dress is definitely Mark Harley, but still, yeah, it's a little. Sure. Never gonna love again. Never gonna love again. Thank you, everybody. Stay. Yeah. There's more of these, okay? And just drop them in the comments. And do follow the post. And it's Paris. Like, what has been happening with Paris? Like, I've broken down Midnights with so many people. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Paris. Yeah, look at it. Did we just crack Paris? Brainwash you into loving me forever. Going back to again the five holes in the fence, the gaslighting, brainwashing into actually having that white picket fence together, transport you to somewhere the culture's clever. I mean, obviously he's never going to give her that life. That's not who he is, but he's so compelling. And a narcissist will get you to overlook their crippling drug addiction and alcoholism. But she's like, you know what? I'll become one too. And she started, drinking. She lost her way a couple times. She mentioned it in one of the new songs, and then also on "This Is Me Trying" was a reference to that. Little fans had to, or not friends, some of her friends had to like intervene. Confess my truth in swooping, sloping cursive letters, like only the flashing lights. Be the tower at midnight. Find. Oh, you know who else has a song called Paris? Did you know that? Oh, asking Matty about the song. This song is obviously about a girlfriend. We're somewhere, thinking about you, and again and again and again and again. And how I'd love to go back. This is kind of beautiful, like this part of it. I mean, if he wasn't just like a drug addict and a racist, big ifs. But if just and she is mad. Okay, so we're gonna keep going here. Okay, timeline. This is from spicysize.tumblr. So I don't even should I even start with that? We can go a little bit more in the weeds first, right? So like. All right, check this out. Pinned to Ezra's. I mean, this hasn't been, verified, but had someone kind of look into it, and enough for me to go forward with it. Worked full time as Matt Healy PR team at Dead Poet Indie. It's Healy. So posted earlier today, right? Not just these edits, you know. There's Matty with the typewriter, you know. Spent 2 years on something, and every word. This is where Matty said, "I'm not kissing anybody in front of Taylor Swift. Have some respect." It's like in front of the Queen, right? Calling her as Queen, and then of course we have the Voodoo Law versus Queen, you know, sing song, because once your Queen had come, that's so freaking intense. Yeah. Oh, Caroline and Tortured Force, those two things parallel. All right, so then let's go to supposedly there will be a backstage photo here soon. All right, and there's this moment here where Matty's like, "Never gonna love again." Oh yes, you will. That happened. Okay, got another great one here. Ballad of Maroon, Shelley here. Okay, so this was in no one took it seriously was posted. I'm posting it again now. Message from Taylor 2014 from 1989 at 75.com. I listened to your pod yesterday, and the stuff about Taylor and Matt Healy from 1984, right around when 1989 was released, was totally true. A friend of mine was part of a performance around the era, surrounded a lot. She was at a big party, and his band was there, and she, out of nowhere, kissed him in front of a crowd of at least a dozen other people, including my friend. Okay, do they know it's giving question? Do I need to say that? Okay. Anyway, like, cancel, rearrange plans to see him. Cancel plans just in case you call. To see him, and this was like during her like girl squad era. People on her team didn't really want to link to him publicly. And Taylor herself did not want to scare him off with a ton of media attention. It's the quote. Oh, it can't be Taylor's boyfriend. I mean, now if you recontextualize that, she wants him to be the boyfriend. And this is why it didn't like piss her off when he said that. That like, oh, I'm not going to be Taylor Swift's boyfriend, you know, do alpha for that or whatever. Because it's really in context more of a deflection of like, he's leading her on, but he's also struggling with what's going to do his image. And so before, though that was just, oh, that's for the public love, you know. And, but like, privately, he's like still like painting the picture of the future, which is like, you know, that's just what they do with everybody. Yeah, they know that like it only really works if it's kind of sick. So she's just writing this for on behalf of everybody who's been like led on by a narcissist and like lived and breathed and died by the fantasy of the White Picket Fence, you know, and slowly that hole begins to reveal to have more and more, you know, but the abuse of the distance, you know, and you're just like living your life for that day that you get out of jail and out of this relationship, and everything is built on that, and then you just get there, and it's just like, well, I was just saying that while I was in jail. Well, you believe me. Oh yeah, okay, there's a lot more to get to. Okay, so yeah, there's some dates. Okay, again, the I love you is just Taylor's liking pictures of Matty wearing the 1989 shirt. And so between, but okay, so November 2013, a year before like what we kind of really knew about, is Matty talking about Taylor liking the band and being asked to tour with her. That stuff doesn't happen just like without a lot of pre-planning, right? Then early he knows that Taylor likes the band. Turning the tour down together because like if we can tour together, then we can know each other. It's just like Taylor wanted them to tour together March of 2014. Okay, so that is when this truly started. So that's where some of these where you know obviously, even if it was like the perfect relationship, 1975 is not that kind of band that would just like do that to their image, be that. But she doesn't know that. But also, it's a nice gesture. But I could definitely see them still being together or like having some dates and things like that. Having met and like the thing about the party and all that. And still just have it being kind of a fun thing and a huge crush for her. Because what we're ultimately looking at is a way that like style is about both Matty and your styles, okay? But you're not ready for that yet. So we'll get there. So there's just all these pictures, all this November stuff that we all kind of know about. T-shirts, Instagram stuff. And then like Taylor, talks about like, two things. He had allegedly she gets the name wrong. Something happens behind these things where like there was a girl stuff. Could have been Taylor. I don't know. Yeah, something about a fan saying I love them to deny the dating rumors in 2015, but they did hang out the very next month at a Brit after a party, and then this is where she meets Alvin, and this is where Matty and Halsey break up. And if you remember, he had like the same 31 songs, like Halsey didn't get there, but the poems and stuff that Halsey did write about him, there's something about being with this dude that just makes you write a ton of shit, and that's just like probably some kind of like physical thing or something, because it's I don't see it, but that's beside the point. And I think he's like everything that we thought Ryan Adams really was back in the day, but like he actually seems the English accent for good reason. But moving on, so there's an emasculating thing that he says about 2016. Like it's been going on for 2 years now, and talking about like she's probably changed her number by now, but I just keep texting her. Could have been a joke, but oh my god, if it wasn't true, but he says that is the perfect thing to like drive her crazy. What are these texts I didn't get? And there's some actress I forget who was like was friends with Taylor a little bit. She did change her number on this time. Ran the camp interview. 17 talking about in interviews. Yes, just jump. All right, so then he breaks up with FK Twigs. And then the new album in 22. Somewhere along here, there was the leaked version of 1989 deal where the new bonus tracks, the slut version, was going to have him on it. Like, but then like they got scrapped for PR reasons or whatever. But it was either recorded. We know what the verses are. Now we can believe that it's true. There's just so many things. And then that would have been around February 2023 that they recorded. They were seen coming out of the studio at different times on the same day. Then we lose Invisible String in March 2023, and we get the one. Wild. Oh. And then it deactivates, everything happens in eras, right? Yeah. And then this is April, where he says, hey, I love you, you know who you are, don't about you. And maybe I found it. That's what I'm looking for. That's what we're all looking for. And of course, that's a huge, like, later on type thing. And then we hear a little bit later that they are dating. And again, so then, yeah, in this context, it's, again, he's a love bomber. So, I mean, but this has been like months and kind of like an ongoing thing. Like everybody wants to like talk about like Ryan saying that Joe cheated, whatever. But when she got the slammer, sure, maybe that's when this happened. But more of Midnight's now has to be re-examined. And before, again, question that person talked about who was there. And again, we know that Taylor would like to write a song that's just like only one person knows what it's about, from Amy, from Kim. Question could have been that moment I talked about, because it's before Question that in Foxborough in May, I've never been this happy before in my life. And we remember seeing how happy she was. And you guys did this to her. I went after his racism because I feel like that's not okay. But yeah, she's saying that she'll die for his sins. She's like, what? Like, you say that about Ice Spice? You know what? I'll give Ice Spice the Taylor bump and catapult her into a new stratosphere. She's already famous, and then he just, you know, she's a legend. She's iconic, and she had the talent to be that way. But that just says, like, no matter what you do, I can fix it. I can fix him. But Daddy, I love him. But because it's like he fucked it up and he's got a drug problem, he's racist, and all together, and then like he really at some point let it be known that like once the allure of the forbidden love and the chase, you know, I just think that like she just fell too hard and kind of scared him off a little bit, but also he's a narcissist, so it's kind of easy to do. And then like her whole thing is breaking hearts, and he's probably just getting in front of it, kind of thing. But I don't know. She's pissed at him. She's making it about him, and I feel like that's there as a PR thing because like you have to be mad at him a little bit. We know that Tree is the person that like she's really mad at because we canceled Matty, rightfully so, but we also like we're the daddy. But Daddy, I love him. But no, he's racist. You can't tell. You're already like your country origins. Like you know. I know you're from Philadelphia, but like you're kind of from the South, and I don't know. It's just like they still care for one another, but in the middle of the world tour, so both are probably busy, been friends for years, and are still friends. So, but and then July, they want to make it work at all costs. There was some truth to that. But then people took lines, they still are. And then, sorry, question mark. You was removed from the pre-show playlist. And August 7th, Matty's seen with Meredith. What happens right after that? So that, interestingly enough, that's her Kansas City show. And that's where Travis attends and sees her there. And then that's who's already, the play up about shooting the shot was already kind of in the works from there. So I don't know if he just got in front of that or whatever. But we know this is missing the false god. You know, when we canceled Matty and she broke her heart was broken because the Matty interview came out, really, and it's just like, and so she had to pretend like that's something like her like PR people probably told her. They gave her like the mood regulators and like, you know, beta blockers and whatever to go on stage and to like with the forget him pills and to just suppress all of this and live these songs and just focus on. But we knew these surprise songs that she picked. We were like, wow, she's really broken up about Joe. That was the gaslighting that was done to me and to all of us, to ourselves. The Matty Truthers, like, if you spoke up, somebody shushed you. You were ridiculed. You were not allowed to say that. We pretend it didn't happen. He's the new Kanye. We don't say it. You know what I mean? And like, I just was like quietly like, it's bullshit, but but I was like, I get it. And I'm like, she's not mad about Joe. Fuck Joe. I'm just. And then what was the propaganda y'all pushed? It was like, oh, the Midnights is the pre-breakup album and this is the real one. But I mean, whatever helps you sleep tonight. But I mean, I don't know. I had to suppress it so hard that I just began to try to believe the Joe thing. But it was way more easier to believe that she still wrote that about these songs about Cardigan than it was about Joe. I just pushed that narrative and that kind of thing, but now I think the Fences was Matty and the Fortnight is just a Fortnight. But they're so like, go ahead and I'll post another thread, or you can just look for on X for how the Fortnight video has all of these 1975 Easter eggs and other Easter eggs. I'm that though. But when we're talking about the Daddy, I love him. I'd rather burn my whole life down, like the lover has, right? Than listen like this. And this is where people saying, "Oh, Taylor hates her fans," right? Her fans, her fans, and Scooter, they all work together. Scooter like finds out about, or like all the stuff from Carly, right? And like it's like the masters and all that stuff. Like she had a rainbow designer dress ready to go out, and like there was a whole me thing. Like this is another suppressive thing that like we were all forced to do and pretend like um me wasn't about like it was about like rainbows and stuff or whatever. I mean, ridiculous, right? But and unicorns and just being an advocate when that was like a another moment where she was going to shift something, and that had to be walked back in the Vogue interview. And I just like really like being an ally. It's like you killed off all 13 Taylors and so you were going to give us the real Taylor, and the real Taylor was going to be right. And then that couldn't happen because she had to get her masters back, which she needed fans to do. So she needs fans to do that, and so now fans prevent that from happening. And then she gets, Eras happens, and it's the $1 billion tour, and she's locked into this like, I mean, bigger than Beatlemania, biggest thing on the planet ever. There's nothing bigger, and so she's punishing us with this album, with the tortured. This is she's giving us. We're the poets who are being tortured, right? The Tumblr poets. So we are the ones who, with this album. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but this is so confessional, so therapeutic. She is unloading on us. This is I did did I consent to the like an emotional bandwidth of availability to 30 songs? Yes, I did. I was begging for it, but I'm just saying, like, this was like, oh, okay, yeah. I'm like, I use my albums as this stuff, and I just like, I process my breakups this way. Here's everything, every song. All you guys, the vault, so the message with the vault is just, put it all out. It's all out. It's unfiltered. There's no editor. It's raw. This is like, classic right now. It's just like, vicious, petty, eviscerating, mean-spirited, violent. I want to kill her. I mean, there's a big puzzle piece in the wife of Fortnight. You already know. But I'm just saying. So she's like, this is Doja Cat. This is like, I hate my fans. This is like, Swifties, fuck Swifties. You know what I mean? She's like, no, yeah, I was just putting on, like, I mean, this is like the biggest ego, covert, narcissistic thing I've ever seen, and I love it. I'm here for it. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like but it's like it's a release. It's shadow work, right? I mean, she still loves her fans. She's that was an element where it was performative for sure, but when her fans get in the way of her personal happiness, we have crossed the boundary. What if she wanted to be racist or like be okay with that or something? You know what I mean? Like it's still a PR thing. It's not like she's changing who she is or what she's approves or Matty's, he's apologized sometimes or whatever. But the violence that we would do, in terms of like, in print and just like going after her and her award to get her masters back, which is kind of like the pettiest, like, I mean, the merited, rightful thing, but also like she can't stop that halfway. Rep has to come out, and I am waiting for the Atlas version of. I mean, I think about it all the time. I got the email. So, judgmental creeps who say they want what's best for me, performing soliloquies I'll never see. So we're just like ranting into the internet. Thinking they can change the beat of my heart when he touches me and counteract the chemistry. Healy's wild child, talking about being pregnant. Yeah, that whole thing. Like, Sarah's and the Hannies. They try to save you because they hate you. They don't really want you to be happy. Touching their pearls, It's giving Lana with I have lots of black friends. Like it's clutching your pearls, the woke crowd. And like honestly, Jack and them people like, they're on the right side of stuff, but they associate with people who I mean, Matty, you know, talks. He uses woke. We don't. First of all, we don't even say woke. It's not our word. It's not our word. And then nowadays, when it's used, it's instant alt-right word. Now, you know, they have that. So it's just like you could. But all the British people are kind of like really influenced by like Russian stuff, and just like the racism is like so weird over there, and more prominent. It's not like, yeah, it's like it's awful, and somebody needs to, you know, needs to be like some kind of like anti-propaganda campaign over there. But like it's disappointing, and I love English people, and I hate saying this. And of course, they're not all like that. It's just the ones that just like have a mouthpiece that just like a hand notice or something. So down bad. They say that nuts if I even talk about the existence of you. Thank you. I feel that way. I like they would tell us as Swift, you know, just reality-based Swifties. You know, there's a few of us out there that say that, you know, we're nuts if we talk about Matt Healy. You know, they condition us to like suppress that stuff and not talk about it because you're nuts. Like, I almost hear that. But and not that she didn't do a pretty good job of like hiding this stuff or whatever, but like some of these lyrics, like you either have to do acrobatics to make it be Harley, or it's like okay, no. It's yeah, I don't, so many lyrics I'm talking about right now. Nah, but right. Okay, so adoring all of somebody's indecent exposures and building a fort, on some planet where they can all understand it. And how dare you think it's romantic for them to be safe and stranded, down bed crying out. Everything comes out as teenage petulance feelings. And so that's like the poetry that she's writing and the stuff that's coming out and her feelings, you know, she's like, I'm too old for this shit. I'm still, yeah, I'm still doing this, you know? But when somebody like a narcissist like hijacks your attachment system, like there's literally a type of abuse that's lasts longer and is hard to recover from than physical abuse, called narcissistic abuse. It's actually got classified in the 90s. Dr. Sam Benkin's written a ton about it. It is it's a real deal, and it's a form of post-traumatic stress. And so when somebody leaves you spiraling out like that, you're going to write crazy stuff, and like it creates an obsession. Basically, it's similar to like, you know, being somebody who's borderline who like flips the favorite person energy on you. It's you will write songs and they sound teenage, but these are brilliant. I can fix them, the smoke coming out, you know, I'm the only one who can, but if anybody can, Taylor can, you know. It's just like, how about like Ice Spice was a demonstration of her. It's like, that's my man, right? Well, that's like describing the perfect narcissist, like perfect case for my skill set to fix. You know what I mean? Like the poet was, there is no William Bowery. Jack cannot tell a lie, and if you watch that, you know, the folklore documentary. I mean, he's like, yeah, Joe wrote those songs under a fake name, and Taylor's like with his like trying to control his mind and his words, like with her eyes. Yes, there is. You know what I mean? It's like she's doubling down on that lie, and to spite Jack and make Jack co-sign it on this thing of like, you spot Joe, the tortured poet. It's like, I mean, I believe the group chat existed or whatever, but like, still ain't writing shit. She wrote that, and like George James stuff is like about a girl, you know. Maybe we should like think that Eddie, but God, she tells him that he's my man. Wish me I can fix him. I can. Maybe I can't. And then I'm not gonna get into the smallest man who ever lives. I mean, obviously, she would need me to do that, right? Guilty of sin. This one comes with an R rating, and it's, you can imagine, just, you know, all by myself or whatever, you know. But how I long for our tryst without touching skin. How can I be guilty of sin? You know, potentially. You know, she wrote this like, this would have been while she's with Joe, but thinking about basically falling to her. Longings locked in a vault. You know, thinks it's bad thoughts and the actions. I've already done it in my head. And I mean, so that's fresh out the slammer, right? Fulfillment. torture post department. You know, it's just like, yeah, it's such like a mind fuck, right? And it is kind of like gaslighting. But the gaslighting is a theme all over this like era and album, and like just kind of like, oh, these, you know, Carly and I are just friends, right? Same kind of thing. Like she's actively gaslighting, you know, like in the Vogue thing, like, oh, I'm just an advocate. Actually, you know, covert narcissism disguised as altruism, some kind of congressman. That's about the Vogue interview. Like she says, I'm so altruistic. I just like can't my identity as a person, as rainbow uniforms and advocacy. It's ridiculous. And she meant communal narcissism, but she doesn't get accused of that. She gets accused of covert narcissism because that's her script means their songs. And this is one of them, much like Dear John, musically mocks and emulates the music of Dear John. We have the tortured post apartment, which is sounds like a 1975 song, and Healy is known to be an advocate for Charlie Puth on the Twitter machine, and then Lucy is not a Joe friend; it is a Jack and Healy friend. You know, Fortnight's confusing. I mean, it's just like because they would, you know, 2 months, not 2 weeks, but maybe it's the Fortnight's just an English word or something, or it's a poetic word. But the rebound, you know, the magical move on drug is a rebound, and perhaps, however, or just could be on like just talking about like just like taking pills on the air sewer to like just move on from Healy. Hit Slammer really hard, down bad, is touch on that. I love you and it's ruining my life. And you might think, well, because of the bad PR, but again, she says I can fix that. That might be why he belongs in prison. We don't really know what she did last time. But he was ruining my life. I touched you for only a fortnight. I call you, but you won't pick up. Another fortnight lost in America. It's just like, no, I love you, it's ruining my life. And because it's supposed to be like, he's like the hitman. Like he's like, did you have a gun on your bed the whole time? Because it feels like you're the peak moment of my life, the most like lucrative, like era of the celebration of the, you know, this beautiful summer turned into the cruel summer because of the timing of the way that this all went down, and it was supposed to be after Joe and this sort of like Bejeweled tour, and instead it's I'm pretending to be happy, I'm devastated. We saw that in the surprise song picks, which at least those were Therapeutic and Masterclass and like not to cry and when your makeup times, and gaslight yourself so that you start thinking about Joe. Yeah. And I mean, he told her though all along, 2016, you know, I'm not going to be your boyfriend yet. So there's a few songs that maybe aren't about him, but we're entering some serious territory here. Just so very many of them, like you know, Peter chasing Wendy, Cardigan, yeah, and the fact that like they like, you know, Tinkerbell and Peter passed the thimble back and forth, kind of like they couldn't kiss because she's, you know, okay. So it was that thimble, instead of a thimble it's a cardigan. They'll pass back and forth, leaving it, you know, each other's houses, whatever. But then also he's like promising her like one day he's gonna grow up and like they'll be together and it'll work. But like once you know, once he has her, well, the dog that chases the car, and what do you do when you have it? And he thinks never want to be your boyfriend. It's like Sigma, and he probably is like breaking her heart, like making himself the victim of it. It's so she gets out of the slammer, but he's the one that belongs in prison because of what he did to her, and the fact that like he had. I mean, like the Aristotle was beautiful. I bet it was therapeutic, and for just like we were all saying, she's obviously disassociating, and like just get being in the moment and putting on an actress performance, and would have been great for her to be more present, you know. But she needs to integrate songs into the airs to her so that she can be more authentic, I would say, and switch up that stylist. But I'm not saying um, but it is, I don't know. I love that there's still, that is the thing about her level of just like, she's going to be, you know, writing songs about him the rest of her life. It's been her whole life getting over him. Not Joe, and Labyrinth. And same thing with like what happened to her, you know, with Kim. She's going to be writing songs that only Kim's children will know are still about their shit. And I love that as someone else who was like, you know, as being someone who was like, had lies and like character attacks and like, and the person's like associates like didn't even want to hear my side of the story. And I'm like, I can here I've got the you know the evidence. Like, look at my I can show you like that they're lying, you know. And it's just like they didn't even. We're like, well, you know, it's just like bullshit. You know, making up rules and just like gaslighting, and it's just it's sad and you know it's sick when someone decides that they just want to like cancel you and just they don't like how big your spirit's getting, so they just want to make you small, so they destroy your character. And so I'm in a unique position to like really deeply identify with what she went through with Kim on a much smaller scale. And I'm telling you, like, it's just so therapeutic for her to do this, you know. I mean, I just, you know, I let it go. I've done my shadow work. I've done work with therapy to release that stuff, you know, and just like move on and just be the bigger person, and just the best success is just living well and just letting that fuel my creativity. But you know, it's nice that I mean, because you know, about karma, right? That person, you know, will get that in like times three. You know, I'm sure. This like, I trust that and I'll just leave it there and just like forget about it. But like the fact that like, yeah, she's keeping her side of her street clean and just kind of focusing on her. But like, you know, there's something in her that just celebrates that what goes around comes around, and there's no reason to treat people this way. So, Matty will get his too. You know, I think she needs to land. If this is her anger phase, clearly of the grief process, you know, and we were all in the denial together. Yeah, acceptance is around the corner. She can heal and integrate this into yet another amazing era. But when she writes the album about her undying love and forever happiness with Kelsey. So, on that note, more to come.